like to call this meeting to order in accordance with Massachusetts state law. We can have this meeting via Zoom. And we are meeting this evening to vote in the minutes, approve and vote in the minutes that are outstanding. So I'm going to need David, when you're ready,
Sure.
discuss whatever you need to discuss and make the motions on each of the things that we need to vote on.
Just for a brief background, the town clerk, Carol Green, has been concerned that we have a number of outstanding meeting minutes. Something I was not aware of is that there is a rule or an unwritten rule or regulation that says that meetings can't go more than 2 meetings without having minutes adopted, which I did not know, obviously. We've had a couple of stray ones from the transition between a number of different administrative folks. And then we have the 5 that happened we have a couple that happened this spring when Amy left, and then the 5 that happened when Erica joined. Erica's all came in on time. Thank you very much, Erica. Sue Jacobson and I and Sue Klein have all been working to make sure we get this thing covered. We are down to a short list of minutes that need to be approved tonight. And if, with your permission, Susan, I'd just like to start making motions and looking for seconds, and then adopt them individually. Once we're done that, we are going to be completely up to date. I'm going into town hall tomorrow to file the hard copies. This is another thing I didn't realize, is that I have to sign them before they're filed with the clerk. That's my fault again. I will be going in tomorrow morning to file with the clerk the signed hard copies of these, so they can be posted.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets.
Yeah.
That, I'm
And I
sorry,
have-
5
Yeah.
sets that I will be signing and turning in, just because Sue dropped them off, because
We've got
want to
between
more
Susan,
work to
yeah,
David.
between Sue Klein and I, we have everything covered that we're going to adopt tonight. And they cover the outstanding minutes at this point. With that, since we're all concerned about losing power in the very near future, as I look out my window, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the 8th, unless anyone has any questions before we get going. I guess I should stop there.
I think just in case there's any questions about what the meetings were about, we should do them
Okay.
individually.
I have to look individually, but I can if someone wants.
I can do the ones from Sue. I have them here in front of me.
Okay.
You have to make the motion, but
yep.
I can do the synopsis if you want.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from April 8th of 2020. I need a second.
I second.
Thank you. Any questions on that?
This one was, if anybody has any questions, I can go through it. There was an animal inspector conversation. There was COVID conversation. There was Fire Chief Kenny. Blythe Robinson presented. We discussed upcoming meeting dates. Susan and Arthur will work with Blythe on new information on the budget for town meeting. This was just a preliminary meeting before we voted. And it was a budget discussion. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, April 8th adopted.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from the April 15th, 2020 meeting.
A second.
Thank you. This is a meeting where we were supposed to discuss. I've got this one, Susan. This is mine. I wrote these ones up. Did you say something? I'm sorry. Sue? This meeting was sort of the beginning of our process from like a year ago spring. We were supposed to discuss the citizens petition on the advisory board makeup, but the petitioners were not aware that they had to be at the meeting. So we had a long discussion about that. We also, then they arrived and there was a decision to push it off. But that's that meeting. If there's any questions on that, I can try to pull some information out.
Nope. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 I'd like to make a motion to
Aye,
adopt
thank
the
you.
meeting minutes from the April 29th, 2020 meeting. Second.
Does anyone need me to go through what that
Second.
meeting was?
Thank you, Michael.
Okay. Does anyone need me to go through those notes? No? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. And it passes. Okay, May 20th.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from the May 20th, 2020 meeting.
Second.
Thank you.
Any questions? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And I'd like to make a, sorry. I'd like to make a
Sorry, go
motion
ahead.
to adopt the May 28th, 2020 minutes.
Second.
Thank you.
Any questions? Nope. All in favor, please say aye.
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 That's it.
Okay,
And those
so
are the ones from
Yep.
2020, last spring of 2020.
the rest of the minutes are either ones that Amy was, there was a break between Sue and Amy where I had to do the minutes myself. And then there's a couple that Amy was disengaging from, and then the Erica meetings are, so basically everything but the one from last fall, which was an organizational meeting that we had. Arthur was still chairman, and it was an organizational meeting to discuss the schedule for the fall meeting. And Blythe made a short presentation on what might be on the agenda. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the September 16th, 2020 minutes.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay,
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the March 17th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
This was the first meeting that we had when Blythe and Todd basically ran through the warrant for us. Any further questions or anything?
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, it passes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the March 24th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Thank you. This was Rich McCarthy's et al. Presentation on the B1 proposals for last spring's meeting.
This is the one we don't have a recording of because Amy left the meeting and we don't have Zoom. NCTV didn't
So-
record it either. So we're
I
doing
got
this one
about
from
an
memory.
hour's worth, I got about an hour's worth of video and minutes or notes on this from Amy, but not full things, and I wrote it up. There's a lot of summarization towards the end of it about our concerns from what I remember relative to density and parking and other things. At the end of the
We
meeting,
didn't
Blythe
vote.
gave us a quick.
Yeah.
We didn't vote on anything at this meeting. That I did double check to make sure we did vote at a separate meeting. That was voted at a separate meeting. Blythe gave us a brief update at the end of the meeting about what the progress was on the budget, the overall budget process. And that's about it. Any questions?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. March 31st.
Okay, March 31st, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the March 31st meeting minutes.
I second.
I believe, I don't have them in front of me. I believe this was the school's presentation. Erica
think
did these
this-
minutes.
I think
From
this
here
was her
on out,
first
these are
meeting,
Erica's
yeah.
minutes. She did a very nice job on the minutes. Thank you very much, Erica. So any questions on that, I can pull them up.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. April
I'd
7th.
like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion on the April 7th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Okay, any
Um,
questions? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
April 14th.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the April 14th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Okay.
I like the
all
way
in
you guys are
favor-
fighting about that.
All in favor, please say aye. These are all the ones just from this past spring, so we should all remember most of them, everything that happened. So any questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. April
I'd like-
21st.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the April 21st minutes or April 21st, 2021 minutes.
Second.
All in favor,
This
please say
one,
aye. Yeah. This is one we voted on. This is when we
yeah,
did
this
all
is
of our
one,
final-
this is a large, this is a lot of the voting we did, so. Some other
Okay.
stuff. Road
No one
acceptance
has any
discussion.
questions? We're all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
The
And then the
last
May
one
8th
is-
one is town meeting day.
This is the meeting we had before town meeting. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the May 8th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Okay.
So we're up to date on meeting minutes as of right now. I'm gonna, as we discussed earlier, Susan and I are gonna drop our signed copies off at town clerk tomorrow, and we will endeavor never to get behind like this again.
So Erica, starting in the fall and everyone else, usually it won't be a problem because we usually start meeting weekly. If we happen to have an initial meeting and then we decide to wait 3 weeks before we have our next meeting, we will need to meet briefly in between to,
No, no,
Um,
no. It's 2 meetings, not 2 weeks.
2 meetings. Okay,
Yeah.
apologies. Great.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we can go 6 months if we only meet twice a year, but we'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Okay, so we will always, after the first meeting, be approving minutes. And we will have to have a final meeting after town meeting in November to vote those minutes in.
We can actually let those slide until the fall, but either way, we usually meet once during the summer anyways, right? It seems
Yeah.
like, yeah.
We usually do this. Yes, Susan.
So I would just take it from someone who, for many reasons, got behind in minutes. I know you don't have to do them for, if you don't have a meeting planned, but I would still encourage, this is the pot calling the kettle. I would still encourage the minutes to get to the clerk and the clerk to have them approved quickly, because believe me, they catch up fast and then you're drowning.
I agree.
The other bit of business, which I will leave, Dave, I'm leaving completely up to you, is you had mentioned not really wanting to continue as the clerk. I don't know if you've changed your mind since then, because obviously that was
I
really
haven't really
difficult.
changed my mind, but I think I'd like to sort of have our meeting in the first meeting of the fall be a reorganization meeting, and that's where that's discussed.
Okay.
I'll leave it with the other members to consider offering to be the clerk. Given the fact that we're completely up to date on the minutes for the first time in a long time, I think being the clerk will be an easier job. Erica seems to be moving into the job quite nicely. She and whoever the clerk is will need to go back and forth to get comfortable with each other's styles and things like that. But I'll hold off until we do a reorg in the fall.
Okay, I'd like to just, I know everybody's
you.
not on the call tonight, but I would like to say that if the meetings stay, if the approval of the meeting minutes stay up to date, being the clerk is not a terribly difficult job. So I think that I would like to see, it was suggested to me by someone else, that maybe we have the clerk be a rotating yearly thing so no one gets burnt out. So I'd like to see if David is ready in the fall to reorganize. I would like to see somebody else step up, because it's not fair for David to have been doing this for 4 years only because nobody else will do it.
Only 2.
Now that everything's caught up and he did the hard work for everybody, it'll be fairly simple. And I think that everyone should take turns. Just It's not that long. It's not that big of a deal. I can certainly help as well, but you just have to sign off on the minutes and make sure that they get approved at the next meeting. Erica's the one who does most of the hard work now, thankfully. So should be a fairly easy task. I will leave it completely up to David though, because it's his choice. But if he's ready for somebody else to take over the reins, I really don't want to be the type of person that has to assign it to somebody. That seems a little bit juvenile and crazy. So I'd love to see somebody step up and help out. And then we'll make sure that you're only in it for a year and somebody else steps up after that. So like to see that in the fall. And then we should be getting, Blythe, do we have, I see your hands up, but just out of curiosity before you ask your question, do you have an idea yet of when you're going to be doing fall town meeting and when we need to back out our dates?
That's exactly why I raised my hand.
Okay.
Yes, we have the middle school booked for November 9th. We'd like to do it a week earlier than we usually do, just because the back end work of getting the tax rate, tax classification, the tax rate set is never fun when it's right up against Thanksgiving with the DOR. So yeah, we're going to open the warrant at the July 20th select board meeting. And I already have a list going of things that I think will be ready to take up. So glad you asked.
You're going to do it at the middle school?
That's the plan right now, given that, we're have an excellent vaccination rate and hopefully things, continue to be good into the fall.
Okay. So November 9th. So backing that out, we need 2 weeks before that to approve the warrant. We need to have all voting done, preferably by the 19th.
Actually, a little bit more because we have to post a warrant for the special meeting 14 days in advance. So we got to have it done a little bit more, or a few more days before that.
Okay, so we need it done. We'll meet on the 13th. We need to have our warrant articles by the 15th of October.
Yep, I'm going to work on a schedule tomorrow. I'll send it to you to double check.
Okay, so if we need to be voted by the 13th, that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Means we need to have our first meeting on September 8th. So if everyone could put that in their calendar, and Erica, if you could send out to everyone, even the people who aren't here tonight, letting them know that town meeting is set for November 9th and that we're going to have our first fall advisory meeting on September 8th. I'm sorry, November 9th, apologies. November 9th for the meeting, September 8th for the first advisory board meeting.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Will do.
And I think that's it for the summer, everyone. I will email a meeting reminder. I will also have Erica set the calendar up before that in a timely manner, but just go ahead and put September 8th on your schedule. Is that good? Does that work for everybody?
Can I?
Yes, go ahead, David.
Well, do you have any sense? I mean, having just reviewed this meeting, the last fall town meeting had like 10 or 11. It was a very short warrant. Is there any sense of how big the warrant might be?
Yeah, I think it will be longer than that. We're definitely, we want to take up the recodification of the general bylaws and the zoning bylaws. The project clerk's office has been working on for a while. We need to approve a update to the floodplain bylaw that we kicked off from the spring. And I think we'll have, I'm positive we'll have more capital to talk about. I'm expecting this fiscal year to end in a much more positive, financial situation. So I can imagine capital, conversation about money and stabilization. So I'm going to work on the list a little bit more. I can certainly send it around to people of we're just keeping on it.
I was just generally curious.
Yep.
Like I said, having just reviewed last fall's, because I had to, I was pleasantly surprised at how short it was.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think I'm gonna pull that.
I'd rather get started earlier in September.
Well, I agree.
And then eliminate a meeting in the middle if we need to.
I agree.
If we don't need to meet, then I would be to stress out at the end that we're
I
not
agree.
getting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And if you will approve the meetings for this meeting that night, And then we will also discuss in addition to the warrant, Blythe, we will also discuss slight reorganization schedule for moving forward with how the board's going to be set up. So,
Good.
all right. If nobody has any questions, just look for an email meeting notice from me sometime in August, and I'll see you in September. Oh, and we are approved to do Zoom meetings through April 2022. So unless we get feedback from the town that they want us to start meeting in person, or something changes, we will continue to have these over Zoom just because it's easier, to be honest with you. So
I mean, you
unless someone
can
has
be
an issue with
if
it.
you want to. We're going to be renovating what was the old clerk's office on the first floor to a meeting room rather than the downstairs room where she's decided to stay. So if you want to be in the building, on a Wednesday night, you can do that.
Yeah, if anyone feels strongly that we need to meet in person, just send me an email, one off, we'll talk about it. I'll get a sense of what everybody else is feeling and we'll go from there. But unless there's a huge objection, I want to at least start the season off via Zoom, and we'll change if we need to. Okay? All right, looks like everybody's good. Have a great summer. Thank you for giving me 20 minutes on a Wednesday night. And I hope nobody loses power. Talk to you soon.